This house costs less than a lot of trucks in America right now. And I'm not talking about some falling apart fixer-upper. I'm talking about a brand new, L-shaped farmhouse-style home that, square foot for square foot, goes head-to-head with houses that cost $450,000. Here's the part that's going to make you mad. The company that builds these doesn't advertise this. You have to go digging for it. I went digging. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's inside that $38,900 number. What it does not include. Because I'm not going to lie to you like every other video on this topic. And the real, total, out-the-door cost of actually living in one of these. Because the truth is more interesting than the clickbait anyway. Before we get into it, if you're even a little bit obsessed with affordable housing, tiny living, or just beating the system on the cost of a home, hit subscribe right now. Because I'm building an entire series breaking down real builds with real numbers, not fantasy math. And drop a comment right now with the state you're building in. I read every single one, and I'm going to use those to make a regional cost breakdown video next. Okay, let's get into it. Here's exactly what's coming, so you know why you want to stay till the end. First, I'm going to break down what 38,900 subs actually buys you. Because it is real, but it is not the whole story, and the difference matters more than you think. Second, I'm going to show you the honest, full, finished cost of this L-shaped farmhouse. Land, foundation, plumbing, electrical, all of it. Using real 2026 construction data, not guesses. Third, and this is the part almost nobody covers, I'm going to show you the one decision that determines whether your total cost lands at $90,000 or balloons past $200,000. That single decision is the difference between I outsmarted the system and I got in over my head. And at the very end, I'll give you my honest verdict on who this is actually right for and who should run the other way. So don't skip ahead. The numbers build on each other, and if you jump to the end, you're going to make a decision with half the information. Section 1. What $38,900 actually means. Let's start with the number that got your attention. $38,900. Here's the truth. In the Barndominium and metal farmhouse kit world, prices like this are real. I found kits on the market right now, in 2026, starting around $37,000. Some 3-bedroom farmhouse-style kits, starting around $43,500. So a number in the high $30,000 for a smaller L-shaped layout is completely believable. But here's what that number is actually paying for: the shell. That's the steel or timber frame, the roof structure, the exterior siding package, and in most kits, the windows and exterior doors. Think of it as the skeleton and the skin of the house, standing, weather-tight, and structurally sound. What it does not include, in almost every case, the land site preparation and grading. The foundation, slab, footings, or crawl space, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC insulation and drywall interior finishes. Flooring, cabinets, countertops, fixtures, permits and inspections, labor to actually assemble it, unless you're doing it yourself. Shell price versus move-in ready price. Now, I want to pause here, because this is where 90% of the videos on this topic completely lose credibility. They show you the $38,900 number. They show you a beautifully staged, fully finished interior, and they let your brain connect those two things as if they're the same purchase. They are not. And I promised you honesty, so let's do the math the right way. To the real, full cost, built from actual 2026 data. Let's build this out layer by layer, using real 2026 construction pricing. Layer 1, the shell. $38,900. That's our starting point, and it's real. Layer 2, the foundation. A standard concrete slab foundation for a home in this size range typically runs somewhere in the $8,000 to $20,000 range, depending on your region and soil conditions. Let's take a realistic midpoint and call it $12,000. Layer 3, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC, the rough-in trades. This is where a lot of the real money hides, and it's also where corners get cut in the sketchy version of this build. For a modest farmhouse in the 1,000 to 1,800 square foot range, budget realistically for $25,000 to $45,000 combined for rough-in and finish work on all three trades. We'll use $32,000 as our working number. Layer 4, insulation, drywall, and interior finish out. Flooring, paint, trim, cabinets, countertops, light fixtures, the stuff that turns a shell into a home. For a modest but genuinely nice finish level, not luxury, not builder-grade cheap, plan for $35,000 to $55,000. Let's say $42,000. Layer 5, permits, site work, and the surprise costs. Septic or sewer hookup, well or water hookup, driveway, grading. This varies wildly by location, but a conservative number is $15,000 to $25,000. We'll use $18,000. Add that up. $38,900. Shell, plus $12,000 foundation, plus $32,000 mechanicals, plus $42,000 interior finish, plus $18,000 site work and permits. Total, roughly $142,900 for a fully finished, move-in ready L-shaped farmhouse, not including land. Now stop and actually sit with that number for a second, because here's the comparison that matters. According to 2026 national construction data, the average cost to build a traditional single-family home in the United States sits around $323,000 for construction alone, and the National Association of Home Builders puts a more detailed national benchmark at roughly $428,000 for a typical new single-family home, before you even add land. Once you add land acquisition and site prep on a traditional build, that median total investment often climbs towards $600,000 to $665,000 in many markets. So even in our fully honest, nothing hidden version of the L-shaped farmhouse, at roughly $143,000 total, you are still building a finished home for less than half, sometimes closer to a third, of what a traditional stick-built home costs in 2026. That's not clickbait. That's just what happens when you replace expensive stick framing, elaborate roof lines, and a traditional builder's overhead with a simple, efficient, pre-engineered shell. That's the honest headline, and it's still an incredible headline. 3. Why the L-shape actually matters. Now let's talk about why the L-shape specifically is such a smart move, because this isn't just an aesthetic choice, it's a financial one. A simple rectangular footprint is the cheapest possible shape to build. Less roofline, less foundation perimeter per square foot of living space. But a straight rectangle can feel like a shoebox. The L-shape solves that problem almost perfectly. You get two distinct wings, say, a primary living wing and a bedroom wing, which naturally separates loud spaces from quiet ones. You get more exterior wall space for windows, which means more natural light in every room instead of just the front and back. And you get a natural courtyard or porch nook tucked into the inside corner of the L, which is exactly the kind of outdoor living space that normally costs an extra $20,000 to $30,000 to add onto a rectangular home. And structurally, an L-shape built on a simple slab with a straightforward roofline, like the kits we're talking about, doesn't add nearly as much cost as an L-shape built with traditional stick framing wood. In stick-built construction, every corner, every roof valley, every transition is labor-intensive and expensive. In a pre-engineered kit system, those transitions are designed into the panels and trusses from the factory. You're getting the livability upgrade of a more complex shape without paying the traditional construction tax for it. That's genuinely one of the smartest layout decisions in the affordable build space right now. And it's a big part of why this specific shape keeps showing up in these budget builds instead of a plain rectangle or a full square. The one decision that makes or breaks your budget. Okay, I told you I'd get to this, and this is genuinely the most important 5 minutes of this video, so don't tune out now. The single biggest factor that determines whether you land at that roughly $143,000 number or whether you blow past $200,000 is this. How much of the labor are you doing yourself? And how much are you paying a general contractor to manage? Here's why. When you hire a full-service general contractor to manage a build like this from permit to move-in, you're not just paying for materials and labor, you're paying their markup, their overhead, and their profit margin on top of every single line item I just walked you through. That markup typically runs anywhere from 15% to 30% of total project cost. On a $143,000 build, that alone can add $20,000 to $45,000. On the other hand, if you're comfortable acting as your own general contractor, hiring individual licensed subcontractors for the foundation, the rough-in trades, and the finish work, and coordinating the schedule yourself, you can often keep your total much closer to that raw $143,000 number, or even lower if you're willing to do some of the finish work, like painting, flooring, or trim carpentry, yourself. This is not a small detail. This is the decision. It's the difference between a $38,900 headline that turns into a genuinely affordable $150,000 home and a $38,900 headline that too quietly turns into a $220,000 home because nobody told you where the markup was hiding. And I want to be really direct with you here. Being your own general contractor is not for everyone. It takes time, it takes some tolerance for phone calls and scheduling headaches, and in some counties it requires you to pull permits under your own name and take on real liability. But if you've got the patience for it, this is where the actual $38,900 style savings live. The honest pros and cons. Let's do a real pros and cons list, the kind you won't get from a sales page. The real pros. You are looking at a genuinely lower total cost than traditional construction, even after you account for every hidden cost. We're talking roughly a third to half the price of a comparable traditional home in most markets in 2026. The build timeline is dramatically shorter. A traditional custom home can take 12 to 18 months from permit to move-in. A pre-engineered kit build, especially with an efficient shape like this L layout, can often be closed in from foundation to finish in a matter of a few months, assuming your trades are lined up. Energy efficiency tends to be strong with these kits because of tighter panel systems and simpler building envelopes, which means lower utility bills for years afterward. And the flexibility is real. Most of these companies let you customize room counts, window placement, and porch configurations without blowing up the base price the way a custom architect-designed home would. The real cons, and I promised you honesty, so here they are. The $38,900 number is a marketing anchor. It is technically true, but if you go in expecting a finished home for that price, you are going to be blindsided. Go in expecting the full number, the $140,000 plus range, and you'll actually come out ahead of your own expectations. Financing can be genuinely tricky. A lot of traditional mortgage lenders are set up for either a full construction loan on a traditional build or a standard mortgage on an already finished home. A shell kit plus owner-managed finish-out doesn't always fit neatly into either box, so you may need to shop around for a lender who specifically handles owner-builder or Barndominium style projects. Resale and appraisal can be a wild card depending on your county. In some rural markets, Barndominium and metal frame farmhouse style homes appraise just fine. In others, especially areas with fewer comparable sales, appraisers can struggle to value them accurately, which can affect your resale price or your ability to refinance later. And finally, land isn't included in any of these numbers. If you don't already own land, you need to add that cost on top of everything else. And depending on your region, that can be anywhere from a few $1,000s for a rural acre to well over six figures for anything close to a city. 6. Who this is actually right for. So here's my honest verdict. This is a fantastic option if you already own land, or you're specifically shopping for rural or semi-rural land where zoning is friendly to this kind of build. It's a fantastic option if you're comfortable, or willing to become comfortable, acting as your own general contractor, or you have a trusted contractor who's done kit-based builds before and won't overcharge you. And it's a fantastic option if what you actually want is a smaller, efficient, well-designed home rather than a massive traditional house, because the savings scale even better as the square footage goes down. It is probably not the right move if you need traditional mortgage financing without any owner-builder flexibility. If you're building in a dense suburban or urban area with strict architectural review boards, or if you're not willing to put in the legwork to manage subcontractors and timelines yourself. There's no universal right answer here, but now you actually have the real numbers to make that call for yourself, instead of just a viral price tag with no context. So, real answer, no fluff. Can a $38,900 L-shaped farmhouse actually outbuild a $450,000 house? On raw dollars for the finished square footage, yes, and it's not even close. Even at the fully honest, everything included number of around $143,000, You are still building for a fraction of what a traditional home costs in 2026. The headline price is real, it's just the starting line, not the finish line. And now you know exactly what's between those 2 points. If this breakdown actually helped you understand the real math behind these builds, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells me you want more videos like this instead of more clickbait. Subscribe if you haven't, because next week I'm taking one of these exact floor plans and pricing it out region by region, so you can see what this build actually costs in your state specifically. And if you're seriously considering something like this, drop a comment telling me whether you already own land, or you're still looking. I want to shape the next few videos around what you actually need to know next. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next one.